still on top of you.
Yeah, that's definitely a smaller map that we're seeing left on the board here for the losers semifinals. Cosolix and Wrench gonna go to Apocalypse for game number 1. And again, no surprises in the character picks. Cosolix on the Scarlet, Wrenched on the Asuri.
Now, in 2019, Wrenched has a very good record against Cosolix, 2-0. So anything that Cosolix had in 2019, Wrenched had an answer for. We'll see if things have changed here in 2020. If Wrench is able to just stick on top of Cosolix like glue, get through this hammer, get through this lance.
Well, so far, fairly even between the two of them. Cosolix able to avoid that downlight. Nice little neutral air will keep him from getting dunked down on by that ground pound from Wrench. Wrench is still finding more neutral openers, just finding more hits onto Cosolix.
Sidelight into the neutral light. Gravity cancel. D-light the other direction. Recovery for the knockout. Wrenched only in orange.
Big read from Wrenched, reading the dodge through from Cosolix. Cosolix was trying to change up his dodges every single time. You're seeing him go down, go left, go right. But Wrench just recognized that was the opportunity, had the read, and got the knockout.
Sidelight recovery. That was the option for Cosolix before. It's going to be the option probably going forward, but that one he just hit hardly even sent Wrenched off screen.
Wrenched again gets the opener onto Cosolix. Cosolix is not finding the finishers this time. Does find the side air, leaving up the stock count, but he is already basically in kill percent.
Now, despite waiting for some time, like Wrench has been just kind of sitting here chilling in the losers semifinals. He's coming out of the gate really strong with a lot of his reach, a lot of his reactions with these Katars. Like out of the gate, he's throwing out 3, 4, 5 hit strings on the Cosolix, and they're coming out regularly.
I mean, that's something that Wrench has the advantage of in this matchup, is that he has a lot of matchup experience against Cosolix. I'm sure they play against each other all the time as Two's teammates, and that's going to make it a lot easier to get those dodge reads. He's not spending game 1 poking the opponent and trying to see how they react, because he's like, I have all of our previous matches against each other as that game 1, so I know how you're going to dodge out. Wrenched with a convincing finish to game number 1 with a 2-0 over Cosolix.
And you saw a lot of confidence coming from Wrenched, definitely from the beginning of the game, but in the end, when you saw him ground pound directly on top of Wrenched's hammer, or on top of Cosolix's hammer, Cosolix was not ready for that. All he had to do was reach up and grab him down, but Cosolix wasn't ready to react that quickly to Wrench ground pound with the Katars, swapping over onto the Macho Man pick that we saw earlier today, hoping this is going to be the answer. Maybe he can create a little bit of space for himself, use the range that he has with the axe. Maybe he just feels more comfortable with that on these 45-degree initiations that Wrench is coming in with, maybe with these dares. That's where Cosolix can throw out an axe downlight.
I mean, it's also possible that this is Cosolix's kind of rotation of characters, and he's like, all right, Scarlet very much didn't work, so I'll just go to a different character. I can tell you personally, I'm not a huge fan of the axe into the Katars matchup, just because once Katars get stacked up on the axe, it is very hard to get away and disengage.
Oh! Finds the Sair as the third option, and the slide charge desync. Cosolix opening up big here on Demon Island.
Right, clearly, Cosolix very comfortable with the matchup of Axe versus Katars. He's going to be going over to the Lance now against Wrench Sword. And some good damage already started up onto Wrench's second stock, but Wrench has the Sword in response. Does get a falling side air, charging up the neutral stick punish opportunity. Cosolix finds the side air.
We'll see how Cosolix chooses to play into Wrench Sword in particular, because Wrench does have the gravity cancel downlight right off the main stage platform. Cosolix was throwing out a lot of D-lights earlier today and a lot of neutral lights as well. If Wrench is able to gravity cancel that D-light just over those, that can be a really effective punish onto those regular neutral moves that Cosolix is throwing out to control that ground.
Not only that, but being able to utilize the iframes of the gravity cancel, right, because you use that spot dodge, makes it really effective against Lance players who like to do air approaches, because you can kind of spot dodge inside of it and then get that D-light while they're stacked up on you. It can be a really strong tool for the Sword players.
And speaking of Sword, that weapon spawn comes in for Wrenched. Man, Cosolix finds another side air there.
Wrench gonna finally finish off the first stock of Cosolix, but Cosolix looking very comfortable with this axe. That was a weapon that we had criticized previously. The Cosolix was looking kind of like a Lance one trick with a little bit of axe for like a side air, but clearly he is keeping that axe warmed up and ready for Wrenched.
Now, you saw Wrenched in that with a ground pound rather than a down air, which would be kind of the normal option that a lot of Qatar players just go for until it doesn't work anymore, and their opponent either jumps away, gets the dodge, or something like that. Wrenched is going to fall. That was a very tough game for him. Just completely destroyed by Cosolix.
What a huge momentum swing to go the other direction. Wrenched winning the first game with 2 stocks. Now Cosolix going to win the second game with 2 stocks. I'm curious if Wrenched has some sort of response, or if he's going to be able to kind of just reset his mental and go right on into game number 3.
It is just going to be a mental reset. No Ember coming in that we've seen Wrenched play in the past. No Lucian coming in that we've seen Wrenched play in the past. He's going to be sticking with this Asuri in the strength stance. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cosolix is in the dexterity stance. Going to take 1 out of his defense, but he still has 6 points there. So he's not really going to feel it too much, going from 7 to 6.
It's interesting. I don't know of anything with Axe specifically that he's like getting any new true combos with that 4 dexterity. Do you know if there's anything in Lance that he gets it with?
No, because you still have Inlight to D-Light on Lance, which is fine at the beginning, and White on any dex. I don't think so.
It's also possible that maybe it just makes it a little bit more comfortable for him to hit those kind of consistent combos that he already knows how to do. I don't remember Scarlet and Roland's base dexterity off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than 3. So yeah, maybe it's just
I think they're mid.
Like that. Sorry, what's that?
I think they're mid.
Okay. Well, either way, Cosolix already getting the initial damage burst onto Wrenched. As I'm getting close to the orange now, a couple more hits might be enough to put him at that orange marker, that 100 damage marker for game number 3.
Oh, you saw the side light coming in from Wrenched, immediately stuffed by Cosolix's D-Light. You're seeing those neutral lights come out. That has more of the range on it as Wrenched tries to come in and punish if he's too far outside of the neutral light. You see that D-Light immediately coming out. Maybe we're going to see the dash jump down air coming out from Wrenched to get him above that. But even so, the D-Light still might reach up just enough. So Wrenched is going to have to be very careful, even on his punishment spacing.
And you're seeing a very uncomfortable Wrench just not finding those openers onto Cosolix. Cosolix, like you're saying, kind of using those get off me tools of Lance very effectively to keep Wrenched at bay.
Swapping back to the Lance. There's the Inlight. You saw the chase dodge forward into the D-Light. D-Light again coming out. Wrench didn't jump, so no hit from the side air that Cosolix threw out. There's the side air, neutral air right on the ground. Wrench trying to fight back best he can. D-Light recovery off of the soft platform. Going to knock out off the top. Swapping back over. Wants that damage build. Those string options that he has on Qatars.
Does get a falling side air onto Cosolix. Nice little half pipe, or the worm, as TWK likes to refer to it when it's all headed in one direction. Ground pound falling there. Wrench goes for it again. Cosolix this time able to get to the wall touch, but these neutral airs from Wrench slowly adding up the damage. Unfortunately for Wrench, Qatars don't have the highest per hit damage, and so Cosolix is actually pretty even despite all the pressure from Wrench on that off stage.
What is TW calls it, the worm?
Because it's not a half pipe. When it's going like only in one direction, it's like near. You know what I'm talking about? Downlight dare,
yeah,
downlight dare, but it's all in one direction, so it's a hard worm instead of a half pipe.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with him after that, because that don't make any sense.
It's in one direction, like an inchworm.
I mean, call it the Zayn Malik.
What?
Or the Harry Styles. Was he one of those guys? I don't know.
What does that have to do with? Oh, One Direction.
One Direction.
Okay, there you go.
Come on.
There you go. All right. Harry Styles. Zayn Malik was also one of them, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, so I was right then.
I think Zayn was like the first one to leave. I don't know. I'm not a huge 1D'er, despite the fact that I just gave you way more 1D knowledge than you had. Falling nares from Wrench, though.
There's the D-Light. Man, the chase dodge into the neutral light. After Cosolix hits the D-Lights, Wrench just needs to, like, get away. Just get away.
I mean, how do you get away, though?
reset.
Because if you choose the wrong kind of getaway tool, then Cosolix might have the read. We saw him reading those kind of panic jumps out of the downlight. We saw him able to read kind of dash away, kind of runaway attacks. So you have to be careful about how you get away as the side sig connects for Wrench, though. And that's going to be game number 3 going the way of Wrenched.
I think the thing was that Wrench was getting away from like he was like taking like one step back, which was getting away from anything that is immediately going to happen in the same space in front of him. But the problem is that Cosolix is chase dodging and then hitting the neutral light as well. So he's going to get the distance from the chase dodge, and he's also going to get the neutral light, which reaches out in front of him. So just get away from that, maybe dodge straight back, run as well, and then jump away. I think instead of taking like one step to get away, he just needs to take more steps to get away.
Well, looks like he is going to go as far away as possible as he has left the lobby to think about what to do against this matchup of Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Asuri that he's been playing. He'll likely be sticking with the Asuri. I think it's a little bit too late in the game to make that swap, especially with how things are going in this Losers Finals. He is one game away from earning his spot in the Losers Finals, against Cody Travis, but we'll see what else he decides to change up in his playstyle as we get right on into game number 4. Wrenched on the Asuri versus Cosolix sticking with the Macho Man.
Small Enigma, Demon Island, Crystal Temple left. So there are some soft platforms still on the board. Are we going to go to the Barren Demon Island? Because we do have a Lance player, but we're going to Crystal Temple.
Okay.
We'll see if Wrenched just wants those soft platforms, maybe to extend his strings, maybe get those ledge cancel D-lights, or maybe start his D-light recovery off of those soft platforms to maybe raise those a little bit higher, get those knockouts a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think it's like he does have the soft platforms, which are definitely a nice tool for him as it can make it harder for the Lance to kind of make those air. Oh, okay, there's a half pipe right there from Wrenched onto Cosolix. Some nice burst of damage, but Cosolix finding a response.
Yeah, that half pipe's like 2 worms doing a crisscross.
Or 2 one directioners.
Or
facing
2
each
one
other.
directioners, man. Zayn Malik and Harry Styles facing one another. Crazy.
Looking at each other like an album cover. Meanwhile, Wrench does find the downlight onto Cosolix. Cosolix underneath, though, he's going to be going back to those neutral airs. He's been really effective at getting those neutral air juggles onto opponents and then chase dodging up for another neutral air into the recovery for the knockout.
And that is something, because Cosolix is kind of controlling the ground game quite a bit. If Wrench chooses to retreat over to those soft platforms, like that's perfect recovery territory like we've seen Cosolix already try to do, perfect nair territory. Meanwhile, Wrench doesn't have like the weapon toss down opportunity because those soft platforms are going to get in the way to give him that safer landing. So man, Cosolix is just controlling that. Wrench is stuck in the air, and Cosolix's juggles are completely owning everything.
Cosolix really controlling, even hitting those weapon tosses twice onto Wrench. But he is fairly hurt. There's the opportunity for Wrench, but suddenly the juggles come out. Wrench in a little bit more trouble. Again, the fake outs with these ground pounds. Wrench has got to be careful, though. He can't get comfortable expecting Cosolix to land onto the stage each time with those ground pounds.
Lance coming back to Cosolix, starts with a down air. The D-light comes out from Wrench, misses the down air. 2, 3, 4 hits!
Nice damage put out from Wrench, but it's still so even between the two of them.
I don't think TBK's ever seen a worm. Like, have you ever seen a worm on the ground be just like a straight line?
No, it's like those inchworms. Those caterpillars, the ones that they scrunch up their body.
I've never seen a real worm do that. That's not in a cartoon.
Doesn't the hungry caterpillar do that?
Again, a real thing that's not in like a cartoon.
Don't tell me my childhood's not real.
I was digging holes yesterday. We saw worms. They were wiggling around.
A nice weapon toss from Wrench, going to keep Cosolix from wriggling around that into the other side of the wall. But, of course, Cosolix still maintaining a healthy lead over Wrench. Wrench tries to get that falling down air onto Cosolix, but just didn't quite have the positioning on that one, and now he's stuck on this corner.
Ooh, he's stuck no longer. Cosolix uses the neutral signature, kind of like a spatula, to scrape off some tough food and then just launch him away.
That's what I do with tough food, is I scrape it off and throw it as high as I can. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not there anymore. You don't got to worry about it. Hopefully it gets launched behind the fridge and then with all the other ice cubes, and you just don't have to worry about it.
That's exactly. Yep, only ice cubes get stuck behind the fridge. But Wrench going to be stuck against Cosolix, as this is now game number 5 of the losers semifinals. Who's it going to be? Macho Man Randy Savage or Asuri going into the losers finals against Cody Travis?
Well, on this map, if Wrench just hitting D-Light recoveries on Katars consistently, which we do see him hitting a lot of, we could see those knockouts a little bit earlier. So this might be in his favor. Ooh.
But at the same time, Cosolix, we've seen him get those land skims off stage. If he's able to read the side airs and dares, could see him get those stocks pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, it's like he has to do like one step less, which on those types of things, one step less is so huge. You can get them like quite a bit more consistently. Still not consistent, but more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, ooh, nice neutral signature. Again, reading Wrench going up over the corner. That spatula knockout from Cosolix, and he's very healthy. Like you're saying, one less read. It's kind of like a coin flip each time. Like the more times you flip that coin, then the increased... What is the heck? You know what I'm talking about? Percentage chance of that thing, all of them being heads, gets higher
it goes,
or harder?
It goes down, yeah.
Yeah.
Diminishing returns. Nope.
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 Whatever. Y'all know about probability and things. Y'all flip coins.
We don't have to
before.
explain it. Like the viewer base is intelligent. We just have respect for the viewer base, so we don't have to go any further.
You've taken a statistics class before. I believe it. Nice approach from Wrench. Does get the sidelight into the downlight. Couldn't quite get the read on the Cosolix. And again, every time Wrench gets 2 hits, if Cosolix returns 2 hits, that is just more damage for Cosolix. These trades are just so much in his favor.
And a lot of times he's not just returning 2 hits. He's returning 3. He's returning 4. Sometimes 5. Like there's one big one. Going deep with the ground pound. Still finds the nair as Wrench is going down on the edge. Doesn't quite have the range with that sidelight as Wrench side signatures over the edge. Neutral light sending Wrench off stage.
Weapon toss going to help him get back to the stage. Cosolix looking very much in control. The downlight stopping Wrench coming over the corner. Watch out for the spatula. He's able to get above it, and Cosolix denied a weapon as the neutral light disarms him.
Weapon spawn that Cosolix is able to get to. Starts off high in the air where Cosolix was floating. Swipes it out. Gonna weapon starve Wrench, throwing away the axe, picking up the lance. Neutral light coming into D-Light. D-Light side air from Wrench. Gonna be the knockout. We are still very even.
Yeah, this is just back and forth. Unfortunately for Wrench, though, he's just a little bit behind Cosolix. He has that weapon advantage, but Cosolix immediately gets the pickup.
Is game 5 of this set. You're seeing one of the first
nice read
down signatures that we saw. Oh, Wrench getting a huge punish off of it. Cosolix is able to recover back over from the wall very quickly. Going to maintain stage control here. Grabs the neutral light, tossing his lance up, tossing his axe away, picking up the lance. Nair gets the side air, turning it around. That is going to be a game 5 victory from Cosolix, taking the set, moving on.
Huge finish from Cosolix, able to get that neutral air into the side air, and Cosolix does not get to rest now. He has to basically make the run. He's got to prepare himself to do best of 5 after best of 5 after best of 5, because if he wants to win this tournament, if he wants to go home the NA 1v1 Spring Champion, then he has to beat Cody Travis and then immediately go into the Grand Finals to play Sandstorm and then beat him once for the reset for a second best of 5.
But in his benefit, he didn't have to make like a gigantic losers run. Came into the winner's semis